In the last 24 hours, Bitcoin has done exactly what I talked about in last night's video. And in this video, I want to tell you why that is such a good thing for Bitcoin as it continues to consolidate on these short-term charts. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Hit that like, hit that subscribe as I'm racing towards 100,000 subscribers. I'm trying to get there before Bitcoin. I got a ways to go, so help me out. Hit the subscribe. Let's jump into Bitcoin charts. Look at this mess. There is meaning in this mess, and I'm gonna don't be intimidated by what you see. This is a 6-hour chart. I'm gonna break down why I left that there. Before we do, I want to show you a quick clip from last night's video. At this line that I just drew on this Fibonacci retracement, do we see just sideways trading now? If Bitcoin takes a dip and we're back in the 16,000s, this is the question. What happens at 16,700 down to 16,000, let's say $500? What happens there? If there's support and if Bitcoin bounces off that area, what did happen there, everybody? Well, first off, we got there. When I did that video, Bitcoin, and this was last night, Bitcoin was 17,000, right around 17,400, just below. And Bitcoin, in that area I'm talking about, is a Fibonacci retracement, and it has retraced to that area. It's a swing low that we just got to that swing high that we were really getting during that video. And if you zoom in on this chart, and I know it's messy, but I wanted to leave it there for context, you can see Bitcoin has retraced right back down to this area. The question was answered that I asked in that video. What happens here? You can see the wick right there going into this Fibonacci retracement, and we got support right at that area that I was questioning. Now, what happens next? Let's continue this story also from last night's video. Right now, we're looking for some type of setup, some type of consolidation pattern. Maybe it's a symmetrical triangle. Again, we come and test this Fibonacci retracement, come back up. You know, we're bouncing around in an apex soon, right? Okay. Fibonacci into a symmetrical triangle. Let me get rid of this. Okay. So here it is again. Now here's the actual chart. And actually, let me go to a cleaner chart. And this is a 4-hour, really breaks it down. So since that video, look how Bitcoin has progressed. And it's so unbelievable to me that it's bouncing once again in between these Fibonacci retracements, right? I showed you this one, which was the support area that Bitcoin has bounced off of. It looks a little different on the 4-hour, but you get a sense. It held support like it should have. And then on the flip side, right, from that swing high to that new swing low where we got that support, Bitcoin right now, as I do this video, testing a Fibonacci retracement. And what do we have in formation? As Bitcoin consolidates and gets squeezed into these Fibonacci retracements, it happens so often. You've watched these videos. If you've watched these videos, you've seen it, the symmetrical triangle setups. And what they do, they give us such a good sense and they give us confirmations of Bitcoin's next move, right? So as these things formulate, as Bitcoin gets tighter into these symmetrical triangles towards the apex, Bitcoin gets closer to letting us know and giving us confirmation what's going to happen. So here's the story with the symmetrical triangle in the short term. The 74% of the apex is tomorrow. This is a very small triangle. So again, I'm probably not going to use this in the title of this video today, but again, the next 24 hours to complete this story are very important for Bitcoin. We will likely get a break out of this upper trend line or the lower trend line. We're going to get a sense of what direction Bitcoin is going into. And to answer the longer term question that I think I posed in yesterday's video, are we going to start seeing a series of just lower highs and lower lows? Are we going to just see Bitcoin just trickle down? And if it does, it will start in this symmetrical triangle. And you can see right now Bitcoin approaching that area in the next 24 hours. Breakout target to the upside, 18,600 or so. Breakout target to the downside, $15,000 would be the next stop for Bitcoin in terms of targets to the downside. You know, a couple days ago, or a few days ago, I did a video and I was talking about a target of $16,000. And it was hard to imagine that happening, and it happened quick. Bitcoin the other day pretty much hit that target, and that's one of the things I started talking about in yesterday's video. So Bitcoin's progressing, and we're progressively hitting these targets, and it's been insane. It's been such good confirmation. And it's very important in terms of planning your next move for Bitcoin, especially if you're one like me that is anticipating buying the dips, right? This might have been a really nice dip to buy, right? The $16,000 target was pretty much hit. Buying altcoins, buying Bitcoin in this move that we had. You know, I mentioned I bought altcoin yesterday. I think it was yesterday on this dip. And the heavier buys for me start approaching when we start hitting targets that are more to the downside. That's when I really start accumulating. And Bitcoin starts approaching that 30% plus dip scenario that we've just been talking about a lot, really leading into this swing high. It's what I anticipate. It's when I take action. So that's Bitcoin on this short-term chart. It's very, very interesting to watch how this progresses and plays out. And I want to talk about this. If you've been watching my videos, you might remember this. This was like a 17% dip or so, 17, 20% dip. And this was in September. And the markets felt this, I remember. And I think what we were talking about after that dip is, hey, everybody, we have to wait for some type of consolidation for Bitcoin to get an idea of what it's going to do next. And I remember I did a prediction video in that time frame, right around here, I think. And it was basically talking about Bitcoin, I believed, was going to at least revisit this area, which was a swing high that we just had to a swing low. And it was going to revisit this Fibonacci retracement. And look, it did. And the purpose of that revisit was to give us confirmation of if it was rejected here and we bounce off, that this is going to be a long-term lower high, right? Do you remember me talking about this? I'm zooming out on the daily chart here. And I'm zooming out. We were really tracking this to see if this was going to be a long-term lower high, because we had the last summer lower high all the way from that bull market high, and it wasn't. And the reason I'm doing this and telling you this is because I want to remind you of something. This moment when Bitcoin broke this pattern, right? It broke what happened last summer, and it broke what happened the bull market high. It broke that pattern, and we broke bullish. And then we broke into the bull market doors that many of you are aware, right around here, 16,000 down to $13,000 or so. Bull market doors broken. Bitcoin is ultra bullish right now. And so when we're talking about potential dips and we're looking at a chart like this and we have a $15,000 target and we were just at $19,000 and you're like, what's going on with crypto? What's going on with Bitcoin? Is Bitcoin failing? Did I make a mistake? Bitcoin potentially could be down 23% if it hits Dan's target at $15,000. What is going on? I want to tell you this. Bitcoin has broken bullish, and our technical analysis over the years has, just in the last few months, Bitcoin has broken areas that we've talked about pretty much for the last couple years. And that is very, very important. So I'm doing this. I'm telling you, zoom out on the charts, everybody. Remember what's happening. It doesn't matter if the swing high is going to be 19,000 or 23,000, right? Or 24,000. It's going to put in a higher low somewhere. And that higher low is going to be a little painful, right? So whether it's we cruise to 24,000 and then we actually have to put in a higher low at 17,000, it's going to be painful. Whether it's we swing high to 19,000, which we just did, and we still get continuation to the downside and we're hitting 13,000 for a higher low, a chart like that is ultra bullish. And I just want to remind you of that. We could be testing last summer's swing high as support and a bounce for continuation to really get into the heart of the bull market. So you always have to take these things in consideration. And again, it's macro and micro combined, right? We look at the micro to get a sense of, hey, next 24 hours, because I know you're on this edge of your seats, just like I am. What's going to happen? When should I buy again? When should I make a heavier buy? That's where I'm at. And this isn't financial advice, but you want to pair it with the macro charts and the macro trend of Bitcoin. And this is what's going on, right? We still have this inverse head and shoulders target above $20,000 in play. But again, higher highs, higher lows in the process. I know that's a very messy chart right there, but you get the point, and I can remove those drawings. Higher highs and higher lows. Right now, we're putting in a higher low. Will it be right here? Maybe. Will it be down here? Maybe. Will it be at 13,000? Maybe. We have targets. And we track it on the short term, and we prepare, and we plan our buys if you're buying the dip. So that's that. And this is on the daily chart. I want to end with this. This is important. Daily chart with context of what we're looking at right here. do you see? I talked about the bull market doors moments ago. Here is the 786, this top of this green rectangle. That's the 786 of the bull market doors. Here's the 618. This is where we know Bitcoin can go to. This is what happened last time in the last cycle. Bitcoin broke the bull market doors all the way back down to the 618. We've anticipated this exact move, and we got almost exact resistance, which is about 20% overextended from that 786. This area down here in the 13,000s, everybody, is, I don't know how to say it without sounding bearish, because it's not bearish at all, but it's so in play, it's unbelievable. And I want you to be prepared for that. That's a heavy buy zone for me, for Bitcoin. And I'm not saying it won't happen, but the whole purpose of me telling you this is this daily candle, I talked about this yesterday. Interesting. It's separating itself in terms of the move that Bitcoin did make, right? That second red day was a pretty big red day for Bitcoin. Then it got consolidation, and then one more red day before Bitcoin just took off again and never saw those prices again. This time around, Bitcoin actually is consolidating pretty early, and this could be a good sign. We're consolidating at this 786 line of this Fibonacci bull market doors. And there's a symmetrical triangle right here at the top of the bull market doors. And this is what we're looking at. It's right here. This is what's going on in the 4-hour chart. It's very interesting. I'm very curious to see if Bitcoin falls and breaks through the bottom of this, because at that point, if we're hitting a $15,000 target, that means we will be right in the middle here of the bull market doors. And we'll be right in a very key Fibonacci retracement, a very key support area. So we're going to continue to track this thing. Let's see what happens with this symmetrical triangle in the short term, and let's see what happens with Bitcoin in the long term. But everything put aside, everybody, remember, higher highs and higher lows. Look how far Bitcoin has come in all the technical analysis we've done. So just remember that. Hit that subscribe, hit that like, have an awesome start to your weekend. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.